Hi here, Carol from Source Property Services. I'm here today to talk to you about the process of town planning and subdivision. Just to give you a little bit of an indication of the time frames that you'll be expecting for a project to go through. So pretty much basically from our perspective, once we've actually got the project on the go, we organise our land surveyor to go out on site, which is usually within 2 weeks of you signing your project with us. That surveyor then would usually take probably another week to 10 days to get their feature survey and title re-establishment survey to us. Once they've given those documentations to us, our drafting team gets started on doing your design. Internally here, what usually happens is for a design process, once we've got all of that, it could be roughly about 2 weeks working with you, the client, to get the best design that you require for your project, because sometimes, quite often, our clients like to live in the new townhouse or unit. And then from there, once we've actually got the design down pat, we do the elevations, book in a pre-application meeting with the council, and look from there, once we've had that pre-app meeting, we've made the changes to the plans that the council might require. It usually takes another 2 to 3 weeks for us to finalise all the town planning drawings, get those site plans off to our land surveyor to draw up a plan of subdivision as well, because we like to apply for subdivision at exactly the same time as town planning, and we find at the end of the process it cuts off about 3 months from the time of it. And then from there, once we've lodged our formal application, to talk about time frames now, council usually takes about 10 days to get a letter back to us stating which town planner is managing the project in the council. From there, we can expect another 2 weeks to sometimes 3 weeks before they'll send us a letter of what they call further information. And in that letter of further information, they'll let us know whether or not they want the plans tweaked a little bit further, whether or not they might like to see an arborist report, or whatever the case may be. Usually they give us a period of roughly about 21 days to 30 days to get that further information back to them, depending on what sort of information they require. And so in that time frame, we do our due diligence and also change the plans if required, or get an arborist on board, or whatever other consultant we need to help assist us in getting these requests done for the council. Once that further info is sent back to the council, you could be looking at another probably 3 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more sometimes, for them to actually send us a letter or give us a call to let us know that advertising is ready to go on site. We'll go and collect the advertising from the council, place the board on site. It stays on the property for 2 weeks, and then we sign the stat deck, collect the sign, take it back to the council. Not all councils require us to send back the sign, but some do. If they don't, we just take the stat deck back to them. And then what actually happens from that, the council has a period of time, normally within 60 days they actually have to make a decision. That's a statutory time frame that they've got. And if there's any objectors that come in within that time frame of it being on site, or up to that period of time that they've made their decision, basically what will happen then is, if there is objectors, the council then is, they then have to issue what they call a notice of decision to us, and also they notify the objectors that they've made a notice of decision to actually support our application. And then what happens once that notice of decision has been issued, those objectors then have a period of 21 days to lodge an appeal at VCAT if they're not liking what the council has said. So the council technically can't issue what they call a formal planning permit until those 21 days have passed and they've received notification from VCAT that no one has actually lodged an appeal process with them for this project. Usually what happens then, the council then has the authority back in their hands to issue the formal planning permit. Look, it doesn't mean that it gets issued straight away. It could still be another couple of weeks before they'll actually tie up their loose end, so to speak, within the council itself and issue the formal planning permit to us. Now, even though they give us the planning permit, then it'll actually come with conditions of the planning permit, which is usually called condition 1 of the planning permit, and that's when we actually have to deal with issues such as perhaps even further changes to the plans in order for them to endorse them. They might require at this stage as well landscape design plans to be lodged. Civil engineering plans also is usually another requirement. If there is trees on the site, they might ask for further information in relation to maybe a root investigation test done as well. And these are the sort of things that can further delay our clients from getting their endorsed plans from council. Once those endorsed plans are all in hand, you've then actually got the more or less the reason to move forward then with your working drawings, structural engineering, soil test, energy reports, etc., to have all the documentation for you to get your building permit to start construction. Or on the other hand, if you're thinking of doing the subdivision prior to construction because you then just want to on-sell the backyard, what will happen is once we've got all the endorsed plans, we then move forward to getting the compliance done for all your projects. So that's filling out all the application forms to the authorities, water sewerage authority, electrical company for an underground electricity pit as well, just to give you time frames for there. The authorities have a period of 21 days in order to get back to you with what they call a letter of offer or letter of agreement with them, with the contribution fees that you'll have to pay to them. Also too with the electricity company, basically what they'll do is say this is the contribution fee you have to pay, and they will install an underground electricity pit within so many days of you signing that agreement. So these are the sort of time frames that you're looking at, and that's why I say to a lot of our clients that the time frames you're looking at there, even though we deal with our applications pretty quickly, we have to wait for authorities to get back to us as well. So once you've really got your town planning permit and endorsed plans, because the council can't endorse a plan of subdivision until you've actually had your town planning drawings endorsed first. So once town planning has been endorsed and we've got all of those documentations, we've dealt with the compliance side of things, look, you could be looking at another 4 to 5 months at the end of the town planning process being finalised as well. So I hope that really gives you a really clear indication of the time frames that you're going to expect. Allow 12 months, some instances it could be 18 months, depending on the scenario, depending on the development itself as well. Usually the dual lock projects are a lot quicker and a lot easier to deal with than multi-unit developments. All of it is not an issue, it's just a process, and basically we ask our clients to be patient because we ourselves have to be patient, but in saying that doesn't mean we don't work for our clients with annoying the councils, I guess you could say, with trying to find out where they're at with anything. So look, if you've got any further inquiries or I haven't helped you with this video, please pick up the phone and give us a call on 1300 861 083, and I can try to help answer any questions that you've got.